pass on this one. Didn't die. Bad meme. Agreed, or was another exploit? I don't agree with what though. Eh. I know he does them, and I think they're impressive. But they're in a different sort of category. Like, not even like a speedrun category, it's just a different thing that he does. I find them interesting enough. I watch them sometimes. Yay! I don't know, Kasi still definitely has the knowledge about a lot of Resident Evil speedruns, although I'm not really sure if he's done any of them recently. That feels a bit gauche to speculate on, honestly. Who knows? I'm not in his head. I'm not a mind reader. Seems happy enough doing what he's doing, though. Hit stuff. I think this is a follow-on from the fact I have a known dislike. I was talking earlier about how, like, using mods and cheats to skip portions of runs that runners consider undesirable is very often short-sighted and, in my opinion, I think, not respectable. I do not respect it. But the thing is that I don't tend to run games that have that problem, because I usually view it as a symptom of a shit game. Infinite in particular is the one I think of when it comes to, like, symptom of larger cause, where it's like, oh, 30 minutes in, you gotta randomly roll for RNG, but the rest of the run is great, they'll swear. And I was like, no, the actual problem with that is that there's 30 minutes of boring horse shit before that point. Thank you. I mean, I guess there's, like, having passion for your game is one thing, but you gotta balance it with a sense of perspective. And that is very lacking sometimes. Whew. I mean, speedrunning is like, it gets like that, because if you want to pitch your one game, you gotta go, like, be the guy who really wants to sell your one game to other people. It's like, why should you run this game, of all games? There's loads of games, why this one? I'm fucking terrible at pitching my games, because I hate everything I run. Why does stuff not do the die when shoot? I have to take the elevator. You even hate Michigan as a speed game? That game is... Do not run Michigan. That is a bad speed run. That is funny, but it's a bad speed run. Is there any game I enjoy running? No. Running is inherently not fun. See, I lost time. It's not fun at all. I'm taking the piss. I run the things that I run because I like them, but running is an inherently, like, stressful activity. Okay, I'm off, I guess. I'm out of here. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Mostly because I can't see what I'm doing. I hate this visual effect. Maybe it would be banned in tournaments. I missed completely. That was very clever. Unless I was having a great time. So, like, I will never run a speed run for, like, long enough and not be annoyed at the game somehow. It'll never happen, and I never think it will. That is, speedrunning inherently is a repetitive activity that will expose the most annoying elements of the thing that you are doing. A personal insult, You fucking spunk bucket. There you go. You're a fucking spunk bucket, Angelo. That's a really British one. those of you who do not understand British slang, spunk is saying cum. So that's basically a British way of saying cum dumpster. Woo. What is the first game I did a speedrun of? Now that's an interesting question. That's actually a more interesting question than you might think, because I have multiple answers. See, here's the thing. I've been speedrunning before speedrunning was formally a thing. I used to, I shit you not, use a stopwatch that I had kicking around to record my playthroughs of, like, shitty PS1 games. And just sort of write the time down in a notebook when I was done with it. Be like, okay, today I beat it in this amount of time. Tomorrow, let's see how I do then. This was when I was, like, I don't know, like, young, so it wasn't exactly very organized. But one of the first games that I actually have paper notes of me doing runs of in this fashion was fucking Rugrats Search for Reptar for the PlayStation 1. I got it down to like 26 minutes at the time. It's not a good run. Okay, so at the time, I knew of a trick in that game that is now common knowledge to speedrunners, but at the time I was fascinated by the fact that that game has a movement bug where if you jump diagonally, you don't have a speed limit. You jump diagonally off objects and you go whee like halfway across the map, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious. How fast can I go? That's true, by the way. That is a real glitch in that game. Jump diagonally off shit, you go like rocketing. It's aces. That game is fucked up, dude. I cannot get this right. I really can't get this right. No, game. Why must you be bad? Be good. There we go. Oh, he moved. Whatever. I'm over here now. I'm catching up to the shot. I don't want to. Is that made in the Source engine? No. Predates the Source engine, I think. Why did the lift not work? What? I actually still had the potential to save time, and then the lift just didn't work. Doom 64 coding, everyone. Crazy time. What other games did I record in my little notebook? Crappy PS1 licensed games on balance is the order of the day there. Why did that... This only works, like, sometimes. I don't really get it. But, one of the first games I ever ran... Like, Rugrats Search for Reptar runs actually survived, like, into the Twitch age of Punchy doing runs. I have a time posted for it on speedrun.com. That game actually has a surprisingly large amount of runners. It certainly has more runners than this game. But I think the first game I ever did formal runs of, like, recorded and posted online with splits and what have you, was probably Eastern Mind, The Lost Souls of Tong No. Which, like, fucking... heard of that shit, you win a medal. Fucking Windows 3.1 ass-looking fucking adventure game. It was the first thing I ever ran at a marathon. It was an online one, and I dropped my spaghetti all over the place the first time I ran. But I got into it at around the second half, and it ended up working out okay. So, like, my taste in speedrunning has always been fucking weird. The first game I ever formally did runs off was a Windows 3.1 point-and-click that no one's ever heard of, called Eastern Mind. It's just the sort of shit I liked to do. Compared to that, this is actually distressingly normal. You know, I did Michigan the other day, so... the brand has remained fairly fixed. Why did the key card not... card key? Oh god, don't bonk. That was the game by the same guy who made LSD. Yes! See? Zaki knows. Zaki knows. Saki has gamer spirit. LSD is by far Osamu Sato's most well-known work. But he made other stuff. Some of it got released in English. Eastern Mind was one of them. You know what, right? You know what, right? There's a funny through line with Eastern Mind, because it's Osamu Sato's, like, one of his Windows/Mac point-and-click works, but there was a second game in that series, Chu-Teng, that could not be found for the longest time. Could not be found. No one had any idea. But it randomly turned up one day because people were talking about it in a thread on 4chan. I'm not going to make this fucking positioning. I don't think I did. I think it spawned next to me. People were randomly talking about the game on a thread on 4chan, and one dude posted in the thread and was like, I think I have that game in my attic. And everyone was like, are you fucking serious? Like, everyone thought he was bullshitting. I was in this thread. I used to post on 4chan. I'm not really shy about admitting that fact. You know, like, people were like, you know, are you fucking serious? No one believed this fucking guy. Like, of course, he doesn't just fucking have, like, this rare-ass game that no one's ever found a copy of in his fucking attic. He did. Spoilers, he did. He had a Mac copy in his fucking attic. He posted pictures and everyone, like, completely lost their fucking marbles. It's just like, dude, like, no one has found a copy of that fucking game. How do you just have that? Like, only in Japanese, right? Like, that game didn't get an English localization. Eastern Mind did. You can find copies of that on eBay, although they are incredibly rare and expensive. But Chu-Teng was like, you could not buy that game, it was not anywhere for sale, secondhand places do not have it. Some people emailed Osamu Sato to ask him if he had a copy, and he did not have one either. He had no fucking idea. He didn't remember if the game was actually released or not. And it just turned up in this random 4channer's attic. But only for the Mac. He just had it. When quizzed how he got it, it was like, I don't know, it was my grandpa's stuff. It's like, why does... Whatever, man. Please just dump it. It took, like, a couple threads to, like, for that tip will get hashed out, but eventually it was dumped. And it's now online, and you can find it. But the problem is that it was in Japanese, right? It was in Japanese, and funnily enough, most people don't understand Japanese. It's weird, I know. I don't really understand how they get on with life either. And so a project was created, a kind of open source project. Anyone could contribute translations to the Chu-Teng project. Long story short, if you use a fan patch nowadays to play Chu-Teng, the fan patch isn't credited to anyone, but some chunk of the text is me. You're welcome. Die! Fuckers. Naught but fuckers here. I saved time. Anyway, that's the story. Like, I really liked the funny enough, I actually thought Chu-Teng was worse than Eastern Mind when I actually got around to playing it. But that is the story of how I ended up having some of my translation put into a fan patch for a thought-to-be completely lost Mac game. Sequel to weird-ass puzzle thing. I don't think that translation patch is complete even, but nevertheless it exists. No one ever actually translated like the whole dialogue, but the game is playable. You can complete it. Sort of. Maybe. So like the thing with Chu-Teng is that it's kind of shite, so like good luck finishing it. What are you stuck on? What are you doing? It's got its trademark weirdness and personal philosophy baked into it, but the actual gameplay of Chu-Teng and some of the puzzles are a bit like, what? I'm particularly not a fan of the fucking shooting segment that the game suddenly turns into. It doesn't work very good on modern hardware, for one. And for two, it's kind of trite. I don't know, I thought Eastern Mind flowed better. Hit the switch! Eastern Mind worked primarily because of its non-linearity. It allowed you to discover the world and still feel like you were making progress because you could make progress in any order. That's why I enjoyed routing that game, because it was about figuring out the most efficient order. That's why it was one of my first speedruns I ever did. I liked the putting the run together portion of it. This was before speedrun.com existed, by the way. Like, it may surprise you to learn that speedrun.com is, in the grand scheme of speedrunning, actually pretty nascent. We used to just keep track of leaderboards by not. There was just an oral tradition. So how do you know who has world record? You ask, and you hope you're asking someone who knows. World record was not nearly as important to people in those days as a result. Oh, the PC port of Mario 64 that happened because of the source code? I mean, the source code's been floating around out there for a while. Like, the TAS community's had access to it for ages. They don't tend to release it to public people, though, because of, you know, they don't want Nintendo knocking on their fucking door. Reasonable concern. Yeah, some series had dedicated websites. Others eventually, like, got with the program of using a Google Doc to keep track. Silent Hill, for the longest time, just had the oral tradition. We just let each other know. In fact, I created the original Silent Hill Speedruns Google Doc. That was under my thing. I was the dickhead who inflicted leaderboards on everyone. In fact, believe it or not, there was some pushback against the idea of doing that at the time. Some people did not like the very idea that I had created a leaderboard. They did not want to be a part of it, and I was like, okay, just don't post. No skin off my bones, dude. Like, try to imagine as well that I would have been, like, 15 at the time. Because I'm just like, I just want to make this, just want to keep track of stuff. And don't be mean to me just because I want to keep track of stuff. Why are you mean? But no, it was not like a common pushback. It was like one guy who had who took an amount of umbrage with it. That one guy who took an amount of umbrage with it is, why am I not changing weapons? Help. That one guy who took umbrage with it turned into a MAGA weirdo later down the line, so that's funny. Had some good runs today. I'm having runs that are less bad. I wouldn't say good. This is some very trashy RNG. Cool game. That's fun. So the length of time it can take you to get that key when you like get stuck in it and start wobbling around is random because Doom 64 coding. Whee. Goodbye. He's saving time. I still think my one of the funnier memories I have from that time of the pre-speedrun.com days is the fact that Silent Hill was actually one of the first, like, quote, like, major communities? Major question mark? I don't know. I always felt like Silent Hill was actually had a fairly disproportionate amount of clout compared to how much we actually matter. But there you go. We were one of the first, like, major scenes to adopt speedrun.com as a hub for our our leaderboards. Also, I got the good RNG there. How about that? But I did not helm the move to speedrun.com off the Google Doc that was mine. It was helmed by someone else who decided to, you know, they got like people to agree with it, obviously. But I kind of like fell off the face of the earth for a few months. And when I came back, I was like, oh, with the Google Doc, like we've moved. We're on speedrun.com now. And the person who had helmed the change was like clearly prepared for an upset Punchy. Because they were like, you know, you were gone for a while, and we thought it was a good idea. You know, it's mostly the same. You know, and I was just like, this looks really cool actually, because like they'd already done the leaderboards all up with like images and stuff, and I was like, this is much nicer. The formatting is like, the margins are like they actually are consistent between pages. Whoa, because my Google Doc was, graphic design is my passion type of like layout. The person who had helmed the change was clearly, like, prepared for me to be annoyed by it, and was, like, already prepared to, like, emotionally coach me through it. Which I thought was funny. I guess they were prepared for the situation, which honestly will serve you well to be ready for that situation in this hobby. But I was not annoyed by it. I was like, oh, this is pretty good looking, actually. Just found that humorous. Clearly ready for drama, and I was just like, nah, it's cool, actually. Hey, guys, this. But those are tales from the before time. Don't shoot me, that's rude. Oh, two-shot. I'm so good at this game. That's a good run. It's a good pace. Now I'm finally having some paces that are, like, comparable. It might not last, but that makes me feel better. Ow. No, don't get stuck. That's bad for you. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a good watch your step. That was a really good watch your step. That was a good BFG. Doom has been anywhere from frustrating to mediocre lately, but I'm persevering anyway. The only way to truly lose at a speed game is if you stop doing it. You will have. I had the last session I did. The session I did yesterday was fucking dreadful. I actually just straight up quit like early because I was just in such a shit mood, and the runs were going fucking nowhere. Today has been, regardless of any actual outcome, I feel a lot better about it. Maybe I'm just being neurotic, but fuck you guys, I don't care. I might not PB today, but I'm feeling a lot better about these attempts. Why do you not die when I shoot you? Why must you be wrong? Time is of the essence. Those lost souls are having a great time. I plan to persevere with the Doom runs regardless, because I am stuck on this guy. Fuck. Because I want to go faster, and also I think this run has good marathon potential? Possibly? I'm getting my ass beat, fuck me. Yeah, if I could not die, that'd be smashing. Can I kill this guy? Eventually. Oh, there's a Cacodemon in the well. Get these fucking lost souls out of my way. this guy out of here. Clown shoes looking ass. There's nothing here. Sometimes there's just nothing there. When even on spawn fear. Considering my PB has like a good spawn fear, that's nice. Now why you gotta do that? Why do cacodemons have 2 buttholes? Please never post in this stream ever again. First try, we did it, Reddit. It never happens, but it did that time. Yeah, that felt like it was going to be at an angle. That's annoying. I know why that was wrong, but it's still like, why does that matter? Come on. Is that necessary? Do you gotta be that picky? Like, why are you like this? Why can't you be normal? We... Oh, he didn't die. Whatever. I would have laughed if that killed him. Alas, it's too good to be true. I'm up. I'm through. That is a lot harder to do than it looks. Because whenever you are airborne, you can't slow down at all. And going down the little, like, jagged staircase counts as being airborne, so it is, like, trivially easy to fly off the edge by accident. Fuck off. I could have saved time there. Well, I mean, I did save time. Yeah, HD collection on Friday. It's gonna be... I mean, it's happening, I guess. Okay, I want this door. I also want to pick up the fucking... Well, that's a mess to start with. I don't think the cacodemon actually died, somehow. No, it really didn't. How is that possible? Yes, second try. I'll take it. Get fucked, idiot. I really wanted that cacodemon to die the death. If you're lucky, it can, like, be telefragged by you standing near it. Otherwise, this fucking happens. Oh, I'm good at the game now. Oh, I'm also lucky. Oh my god, who's actually going to do it? Who's going to save time? The wall, you fucking weirdo. See, that's the kind of pace I want. Not just because it's fast, but also because it signals that, yes, you can actually do the run. I'm capable of having the pace that I want. It might not be easy, but it is possible. Right, okay, this is it. I probably should have gone with a BFG shot here, honestly. Because that is a mess. I'm gonna go over it on the way back. I wanted to pick up that plasma gun, but the game was like, no. Messy, messy, messy. Messy, messy, messy. Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. Oh, I didn't even hit the switch. That would have been dumb. There are production problems that occurred during the HD collection. Many of them. They are numerous and well documented at this point. Why do you gotta move in the one direction that can fuck me over? Yeah, Tom Hewlett gets an unwarranted amount of shit, and it's mostly because of the one video series. A video series I don't even think is bad, but it really carries, like, the angry gamer shtick too hard, which is a shame. The funny thing is that, like, at least one of the people involved in that video series, the real Silent Hill experience, as it's called, has turned a new leaf of sorts lately. He streams on Twitch now. He does speedruns. He learned Silent Hill 2 off my tutorial, which honestly kind of is weird. Like, we've come full circle, and it's like, it's a big Ouroboros of Silent Hill fans being fans of each other's work. Talk about Fungo, yeah. He does the speedruns on Twitch now, which is the fucking didn't go off. Mad. But anyway, yeah, he does Silent Hill speedruns on Twitch now. He told me he learned Silent Hill 2 off my run and off my tutorial rather, and I'm like, oh my god. I used to watch this guy do YouTube stuff. That's weird. It made me smile. I'm surprised that worked. I thought that was off, but the game apparently thinks it's okay. I'm not going to argue. Yeah, given the deadline they had to work with and the experience they had, I like the real Silent Hill experience. I think it's interesting. I think it's, like, well presented. I think it has a number of viewpoints that I would agree with. I do also think it comes from that era of criticism where everyone was, like, trying to be the sort of the angry gamer. Not like the angry video game nerd, but it was a less evolved time, frankly. Whoa, let's get through. I like to think as a culture we've gotten slightly better about understanding how the process of making games works, but not by much, but at least by some. I mean, I'm kind of like... I kind of position my brand a bit, unfortunately, too close to edgy gamer because I'm still a dipshit who hates everything he runs. That's just idle gamer frustration, I guess. It's a good split. He did it. Tom Hewlett does work at Way Forward now. His writing has not improved. Zing. I don't like Way Forward's writing. At all. Like, for what it's worth, I do not like Tom Hewlett's Silent Hill games. Like, I do... I get to be mean still. I can still do it. Just because you're not working with Silent Hill anymore doesn't mean I'm not going to be a bitch. I mistimed that really badly. But it does not matter because he is dead. Hang on, word, is this one good? Just need a good absolution. That went fucking nowhere. That also went nowhere. Change weapon. Oh god, I'm stuck running. Ow. Okay, my controls have, like, become normal now. That was weird for a moment, and a bit dangerous. Fuck that guy in particular. I'm stuck on something. Something's chewing on my ass. It's a fucking lost soul, because what else would it be? Yeah! I got a 36. I win the game. That's actually the new record as well. I actually didn't know what I didn't remember precisely what Zello's time was, but that's the new record. I did it again. I did it again. I did it again.